This week's scripture, as was last week's scripture, comes to us in the Gospel of John in part of what we call the farewell address of Jesus. Again, we're back on what some of us know as Holy Thursday or Maundy Thursday. It's the evening of what we call his Last Supper. And he's with the disciples, and this is what he says to them. And there's so much in this scripture that prepares us for the next 2 Sundays that are to come. And next Sunday we celebrate the Ascension. The Sunday after that we celebrate Pentecost. And we hear themes of that in this scripture. It's one of those scriptures that's so pregnant and full of what we want to preach on that I could probably go on for several hours. But I won't. Let me just share a few of the things that touch me. Those who love me will keep my word, and my Abba will love them. What comfort in that for all of us. And we will come to them and make our home with them. We, my Abba and I, will come to you, to us, and make our home with us. Think about that. So beautiful. A whole sermon in itself, but I go on. The one we're going to talk about today. Peace I leave with you. My peace I give to you. I do not give to you as the world gives. I'm going to spend some time talking about that. But also, as was in the song we sang earlier, do not let your hearts be troubled, and do not let them be afraid. You heard me say, I am going away, and I am coming to you. This whole scripture is full of so much to comfort and console and hold us up and remind us that we're never alone. And so we need to keep that in mind. But when I looked at all of these and I thought about Memorial Day, it struck me that what I needed to talk about was peace. The peace that Jesus leaves with us. The peace he gives us. And he gives it to us not as the world gives peace. And I think anybody who's in the military probably knows that the whole goal of everything we do is to have peace. Peace within our nation, peace within our world, peace among countries. That's what we're about. Memorial Day, similar to what happened at Mother's Day, is a response to the war that tore the country apart in the 1860s. And so folks began talking after that we needed to have a day of reconciliation. And even though the early days of this holiday that later became known as Memorial Day, wasn't always known as that. Remember Decoration Day? Oldies but goodies, do you remember Decoration Day? Yes. Was it always known as that? But it was, the date was chosen because it was not the date of any given battle that had occurred. And so it was chosen to not be that, and then later it was changed to Monday so we could all have a long weekend and watch the race. Which one is it? Indianapolis?
Yeah.
Okay. I know. You can tell I watch it closely every year. Take a left, take another left. What I wanted to share is that this is, as we talk about it, this peace that's in the scripture, is the peace of Jesus that Jesus gives freely with no exception and with no expectation of anything in return. Sometimes I forget when I read this that this is the night that he is to be captured and tried before he is killed the next day. And here he is with all of that happening, and he says, I give you peace. And I think it's really significant for all of us to know that no matter where we are on life's journey, where he was on life's journey was the time when he gave us this gift of peace, like no other peace we have known. And so I came across a reading that I wanted to share with you. And it's told in the first person, and it's about someone who stands guard. He never identifies himself, at the National Cemetery in Oklahoma. And he and his friend Kevin put in a few days a month, he says, in a slightly larger uniform. and they stand guard, and they're there to accommodate people who come to visit the cemetery. And he says this of what happened one day. Today had been a long day, and I just wanted to get the day over and go down to Smokies and have a cold one. Sneaking a look at my watch, I saw it was 16:55. Thank you very much. 5 minutes before the cemetery gates are closed for the day. Full dress was hot in the August sun, and Oklahoma summertime was as bad as ever. I saw the car pull into the driveway, a 69 or 70 model Cadillac DeVille that looked factory new, but it was moving at a snail's pace. An older woman got out, slow I thought, so slow that I thought maybe she was paralyzed. She had a cane, and as far as I could see, 4 or 5 bunches of flowers. The thought came unwanted. She's going to spend an hour. And for this old soldier, my hip hurts like hell, and I'm ready to get out of here right now. But my duty was to assist everyone who came. If Kevin would lock the in gate and I could hurry the old biddy along, we might still make it to Smokies. I broke post attention. My hip made gritty noises when I took the first step, and the pain went up a notch. I must have been a real military sight. Middle-aged man with a small pop gun and half a limp, in Marine full-dress uniform, which had lost its razor crease about 30 minutes after I began watch. I stopped in front of her. Ma'am, may I assist you? Yes, son. You can carry these flowers. My pleasure, ma'am. Well, it wasn't too much of a lie. Marine, where were you stationed? Vietnam, ma'am. A ground pounder, 69 to 71. What's a ground pounder?
Foot soldier.
Infantry? Thank you. She looked closer. Wounded in action, I see. Well done, Marine. I'll be as quick as I can. I lied a little bigger. No hurry, man. She smiled and winked. Son, I'm 85 years old and I can tell a lie from a long way off. Let's get this done. Might be the last time I can. My name's Joanne Weiserman, and I have a few Marines I'd like to see one more time. Yes, ma'am. She headed for the World War I section, placed a bunch of flowers on the headstone. The name on the tomb was Donald S. Davidson, USMC, France, 1918. She turned and made straight for the World War II section. I saw a tear slowly track the way down its cheek. She put a bunch on that stone. The name was Stephen X. Davidson, USMC, 1943. And she went up the row and laid another bunch on a stone that read Stanley J. Weiserman, USMC, 1944. She paused, and more tears flowed. 2 more, son, and we'll be done. I almost didn't say anything, then replied, yes, ma'am, take your time. She looked confused. Where's the Vietnam section? I seem to have lost my way. This way, ma'am. She stopped at a couple of stones before she found the one she wanted. She placed a bunch of flowers on Larry Weiserman, USMC, 1968, and the last one on Darrell Weiserman, USMC, 1970. She stood there and murmured a few words, then more tears flowed. Okay, son, I'm finished. Get me back to my car and you can go home. Yes, ma'am. And if I may ask, were those your kinfolk? Yes. Donald Davidson was my father. Stephen was my uncle. Stanley was my husband. Larry and Darrell were our sons. All killed in action. All Marines. She stopped. Whether she had finished or couldn't finish, I don't know. She made her way to her car slowly and painfully. She drove through the gate with two old, worn-out soldiers giving her the send-off she deserved for service rendered to her country and for knowing duty, honor, and sacrifice far beyond the realm of most. I'm not sure, but I think I saw a salute from that Cadillac. I know there are many among us who have lost family and friends to war and its ravages, and so let's take a moment to honor them as we remember, peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you. I do not give to you as the world gives. While I was researching this, I came across something that wasn't about us at all. It was about a Russian soldier from World War II, and this prayer that he wrote was printed in an underground newspaper in 1972 in Russia, or it might have been the Soviet Union. I can't remember when that switch happened there. Do you know the date?
72?
72.
Soviet Union.
Still the Soviet Union. Well, they found this in his pocket, and they published it. And I just want to share this prayer. Oh God, hear me. Not once in my life have I ever spoken to you, but today I feel the urge to make you an act of worship. You know that even from my infancy, they always told me that you didn't exist, and I stupidly believed them. I had never marveled at your great works, but tonight I looked up from out of a shell hole at the heavens and at its stars above me, and I was taken by their brilliant magnificence. All at once I understood how terrible the deception. I don't know, O God, if you will give me your hand, but I say this to you, and you understand. Isn't it strange that in the midst of a terrible inferno, the light should appear to me that I should have discovered you? Beyond this, I have nothing to say. I am happy just because I have come to know you. At midnight, we attack, but I have no fear. You are looking out for me. It is the signal. I have to go. It was wonderful to be with you. I want also to tell you, and you know it, that the battle will be hard. It could be that in this very night, I'll come and knock at your door. And even though up to now I haven't been your friend, when I come, will you let me come in? But what's this? Am I crying? My Lord God, you see what has happened. Only now I've begun to see clearly. Farewell, my God. I'm going. It's scarcely possible that I'll return. Death now has no fear for me. Peace I leave with you. My peace I give to you. I do not give to you as the world gives. Amen.
Amen.